See, we'll see. Oh, good. It worked. I'm not sure if it was going to work. Hello, people. How's everybody doing? Thank you. I'll get it done for you.
Sooner than later.
Sooner than later. Sassy, sassy husband. That's what that is right there. Hi, Blaze.
Consider it sassiness.
Sassy, sassy. I'm going to put the new screen protector on my husband's phone. I am that person. I'm the one that does all the screen protectors and the cases and the everything. I'm blurry. Okay, let me clean off my thing. Let me try this. We'll see if this works. Ah! Is that better? Maybe. With my handkerchief. Is that any better? Possibly. Hello, Mr. Tito. Okay, I'm going to clean my husband's phone off. It's the internet. We just reset it. I don't think there's anyone else on, but apparently someone else is here. Because why not? This is my life. Y'all get to see exactly how crazy it is. No buffering blur. Fantastic. Because why not? Yeah, we did. We just reset the internet. And nobody else is on. The kids are outside. I have my husband's phone right here. It's always something. It's literally always something. Always. Yeah, they actually stopped by today. I caught you sunbathing again, Lori. I am so talented. I don't think this is wet. It's not really wet. No, their wet wipe is not so wet. They actually just came out today. The internet people, provider people. They came out. I'm not sure what they said though, because I was recording, doing something. I'm not sure. I was doing something. I don't know. So I saw that they were here, but I haven't heard what they said yet. So we'll see what they said. Hopefully we're going to start installing your fiber optics in a month. Wouldn't that be fantastic? Yes, it would be. Karen asked if I am joining the new Dr. Boss class that starts next week. No, I am not. I do not have the money for that at all right now. Hey, babe, what did Solaris say when they were here?
Oh, they were scoping out putting in the new underground cable and fiber optics.
Did they say anything about fiber optic installation?
Yeah, no, they're going to run it all the way up to the house.
Yeah.
They said it wouldn't be active right away.
Yeah. That's the part I'm wondering about. The activeness of my internet.
That they didn't address.
Bummer. Okay.
He didn't seem to have a time frame on that.
That doesn't surprise me. Okay. You know, it's funny when you're trying to put these screen protectors on, like you don't want the phone to turn on and then it turns on and it turns on. And then when you want it to, so you can line it up, then it won't turn on. So annoying. Oh, well, it's okay. There we go. Hello, Sylvia and Susan and Lori and Valerie. Yeah, I need fiber optics. This is ridiculous. It's so bad. Oh, there it is. I got it. It's so bad. Hey, babe, I'm going to not answer your potential spam from California. I hope you don't mind. So that's what my day today has been, a day in the life video. Let me see. I made some new chicken nuggets. So you guys are actually getting a recipe. How exciting is that? So that is going to be in there. They're not high fat, but I dipped mine in butter. So it's fantastic. Hello, Sarah. Hello, Gloria. I wonder if you guys can hear the kids outside. They're cleaning off a box of kitchen toys that were up on the porch. The screened-in porch used to be kind of their play area, but we are actually repurposing it for meat rabbits. So we got, oh my gosh, you must stop. You must stop. It won't stop. The chicken nuggets. Oh yes, chicken nuggets dipped in my ranch would be phenomenal. That's probably really annoying. And I'm really, really sorry. I am doing the sticker to get all the dust and stuff off. To make sure that it's as clean as possible. Stop. No emergency call. No. There we go. Okay. Doing these it's so funny. Like there's so many steps for you to have to go through to install a new screen protector. So funny. Must have jumped. Oh, probably. Hi. Okay, let me do this. And my husband can have his phone back because he has to go to work here not too long from now. So I'm going to try to get this done for him. I'm pretty good at getting these things on. There we go. Okay, let it suck on there. That's what I'm doing. Almost done. No bubbles? I think I got no bubbles. I did turn on his light though. There we go. No bubbles. Okay, baby. Here. Handsome man of mine. Require payment. So, there we go. I did my duty. It's warm in this room though. It's like really warm in here. So, oh, hello from New Zealand. Hello. Get a room, lovebirds. I'm in my room. Thank you very much. Probably TMI. I was just having a discussion with Richard. We are talking to family about potential business proposition with the deer, things like that. Talking about some plans with the deer. And so we're kind of letting everyone know and asking them if they wanted to go in on the investment. And a certain family member, I'll finish the story in just a second. When testing to see if certain foods and ingredients spike my blood glucose, how high of a spike do we consider too high? 30 to 40 higher than the first blood glucose measurement. So if you want to know if it spikes you, what you need to do is you need to take it just before you eat the food or drink the whatever. So just before you do that, then you're going to check, honestly, depending on what you're really going for, you would want to check it 30, 60, and 90 minutes after consuming the food, because some foods take a longer time to spike. But yes, 30 to 40 points, I say anything over 30, I consider it a spike. That's just me personally. So anything, if it raises more than 30, that is a spike. However, your body is supposed to be able to handle and receive a spike and then deal with it very quickly. There's a point in time where you're going to have to decide, am I okay with the spike? And does my body handle it okay? And depending on what the food is, like there's a lot to it for you to kind of decide, are you okay with that or not? Because some people do fantastically, absolutely no problems when they spike their blood sugar, because then they go into blood sugar burning for a little bit and then they switch back over to ketosis. If they're in ketosis, you want to be metabolically flexible. You don't necessarily have to add carbs to do that. You don't have to add something that's going to spike your blood sugar, but it is kind of nice to check once in a while to make sure that if you spike, that you come back down within, I say 2 hours, within 2 hours of the spike, that is a good response of your body to get the situation underneath control and then not like overreact would also be fantastic. So you don't want to go too high, take too long to come back down, and then go too low. So that's kind of the idea. Next question. What's a good length of time to wait to test the glucose after eating or drinking something? It depends. It depends on the item. Some of the items take longer to get into your system. They take longer to make your body react. Some people's bodies, kids, some people's bodies react very, very quickly, and it's going to show up more. It's sooner than 30 minutes. Other people, it could take almost 2 hours to see your reaction. So what I usually do, if I'm going to eat something and I really want to know truly what it's doing, I will go ahead and I will test with this whatever food before I eat it, and then 30, 60, 90 minutes afterwards. I rarely do that because, yes, it's a lot of finger pricking. Honestly, if you really want to know how foods are affecting you, you need to look into a CGM. And CGMs, they test the blood glucose in your interstitial fluid. So it's not even in your blood. It's in the fluid that's in between your cells. And it checks how much blood glucose or how much glucose is in your interstitial fluid. It's not generally exactly the same as what you're going to get with a finger prick. But with a CGM, you're not necessarily going for the exact number. You're going more for the pattern. So you want to see what things do when you eat them. You actually do not have to have a prescription. You do not have to have a prescription. There is one right now. It's called I think it's the Freestyle Libre. I think that's what it's called. I can't remember. Blaze, am I wrong? With a coupon, it was like $60 for 2 weeks. So you can order that. If you just Google CGM, I think it's the Libre. Yeah, that's the one. Okay. Thank you, my dear. So if you order this, it is like $60 for every 2 weeks. But if you get something from Nutrisense, it's like $500 for every 2 weeks because it is medical equipment. So the $60, it's like 60 or 80, I can't remember. And sometimes they have coupons and they have sales, and depending on where you live. But it's data. How many times are you pricking your finger? How many strips are you using? So if you wanted to, for 2 weeks, every other day or so, you could try. You could see how your body reacts to something. Get all of those foods that you want to know how your body reacts to them and do them in those 2 weeks. Do all of those experiments so that you can see exactly what's happening. Because pricking your finger 4 times a day is expensive and painful, and it's a lot. So for some people, they would rather do that. For some people, they would actually rather go get the Rely On monitor, the blood glucose monitor from Walmart. It's like $30 or something. The strips are way cheaper. That you could use that for, because again, it's not ever going to be an exact, precise, perfect number when you take these readings. It's going to be close, because literally you could check your reading and then seconds later you could pop a glycogen bubble. That's going to raise your blood sugar. So whatever you read doesn't guarantee that it's going to stay that way until you eat again. Or if you've been fasting, you might start producing even more ketones and your blood glucose is going to go even lower. So the Freestyle Libre is actually a really good price. I mean, it's medical stuff. And there's an app that it connects to your phone with, and you scan it, and then it tells you, okay, this is what your blood sugar is doing right now. But then it like keeps all of the information on your phone, on the app. You can see trends. It does it for like whenever you scan it, it's like 4 hours worth of information, I believe. That's what it was with the Nutrisense. The Libre might be a little bit different. But yeah, I have the Nutrisense, not through medical. I pay $250 a month for the 3-month subscription. If you do a lesser subscription, it does increase the price. They use the Freestyle Libre. So, but yeah, Nutrisense comes with a health coach. I don't need that. They actually kept telling me I needed to add carbs back in because my glucose was too low. That's what they kept telling me. And I was like, I'm not going to do that. Just not going to do that. And then that's when I found out I had one cashew, like literally one cashew. And after that, it took my blood sugar and ketone numbers a whole week to regulate after that one cashew. It was ridiculous. If you Google Nutrisense, it's actually a program where you buy the CGM and then they have a nutritional coach that walks you through what you want to do with it. But even the one who knew I was carnivore at the time, they were like, yeah, no, you're going to need to add carbs back in. So I have yet to use their coach. Yeah. So I think that the CGMs, when you want to do these types of testing, is absolutely the way to go, because $60 for a solid 2 weeks of information. And these kids, sometimes you're going to have a middle of the night, you're going to get up, go to the bathroom, check your numbers right there. There's no pricking your fingers. You just hold your phone up to it and scan it so you can see what your numbers have been doing all through the middle of the night. And what if you had a bad dream and you wake up and your heart is racing? Check your numbers to see what happened, because you're going to have that adrenaline spike. What does that do to your numbers, to your ketones, to your glucose? If your glucose is really that much of a mess, then you'll be like, I'm going to check my ketones. Because sometimes I think that I'm like, I don't know, do I want to check? I don't really want to waste the strips. They're expensive. But if I had the CGM and I saw my glucose doing something funky, I would probably check my ketones to see what happened. No, those are the noises of my children, not my animals. My kids are right outside. So I'm on the second floor in my bedroom, and the kids are outside washing off a box of kitchen toys that were up on the screened in porch. They were filthy. Hi, Donna. I'm just talking about CGMs. That's what I'm talking about. Donna had four CGMs before it finally worked. And the key, I'm so glad you popped in, Donna, because I was going to tell everyone and I forgot. The key to these CGMs is you put it on and then you don't touch it for like 48 hours. Because as long as you don't scan it and activate it, the timer doesn't start going. So you don't do anything. You leave it for 48 hours is what Donna said. She literally went through 3 of them. I think I'm right. On this. 3 of them that their numbers were so far off, they wouldn't read. It was like a ridiculous amount of things. So you put it in there and you leave it for 48 hours. You don't scan it. You don't anything. And what it does is it kind of saturates the whole system with your interstitial fluid so that it has a good reading. And then you can start scanning it. Activate it after 48 hours. It doesn't start your timer. And then it'll work. She said it was almost exactly what her blood glucose readings were, or very, very close to it. So that is the key. Put it in. Don't touch it. Don't use it. Don't nothing until it is fully soaking in interstitial fluid. It sounds so gross, but that was the key, because she literally went through 3 of them. Either they were getting knocked off, or they weren't reading, or they were ridiculously far off. So that is the trick. I'm so glad you popped in, Donna, because I was going to forget that. But yeah. Oh yes. The question is, does it matter if your arms are fat? Actually, they say you're supposed to put it where you have the most fat on your arm specifically. I think the Dexcom, which is more for type 1 diabetics, can go on your stomach. But I think that they specifically said no to the Freestyle. So don't do that. But yeah, they said the fattiest part of your arm, that's where you want to stick that. And then let it soak. Let it mellow. Don't touch it. Leave it. So, I've actually been planning on getting one. I just haven't reached out to anybody yet. but that I think it would be worth it. I popped bubbles with green verde sauce, sugar-free last night. I was shocked. You want to know what's shocking? And then I will actually get back to my topic. What's shocking, Richard, yesterday, we were running around. We left at 7 o'clock in the morning and we didn't get back until after 1 o'clock in the afternoon because we had so many errands to run, so much stuff. While we were out, he was like, can we have like family dinner? Because it's his last night off. Because normally during the week, it's just whatever, not a big deal. He was like, can we make like Bella calls it family dinner where we have like a big feast of our favorite things? So I was like, okay, we'll do that. I was like, what do you want? He goes, steak. Okay, not a problem. He wants green beans. You knock yourself out. I ain't touching them. I'll cook them, but I'm not eating them. And cauliflower mac and cheese. I was like, okay, I'll do it. And that last year I was eating and it was fine. So I was like, I'll do it. Well, I'm probably going to totally screw up my numbers. So whatever, but I did it. Checked my numbers this morning at 7:30 this morning because I didn't go to bed until almost midnight last night. It was a little bit late. So I got up at 7:30. My glucose was 76 and my ketones were 2.1. And that was with a half a cup of the cauliflower mac and cheese. Now that recipe is from Maria Emmerich. It's in her sugar-free kids book. If you're going to buy any keto cookbook from anybody, anywhere, that's the one that you should buy. Honestly, it's because it's for the kids. It's amazing. There's so many good comfort foods in there, but that cauliflower mac and cheese is so good. And I was like, I'm gonna eat it. It's gonna be terrible. Oh, well. I have been fine. My numbers have been fine. Honestly, Blaze, my glucose in the morning has been high. Every other morning, it's in the 80s or 90s. So to be in the 70s, I was actually shocked. And we ate dinner last night at 5:30 because we had to leave for church at 6. So we ate at 5:30 and then I had another afterwards because they serve coffee and snacks that at church. And so we were like, let's take some coffees. I drink nothing but decaf now. I don't. Did I start my protocol? Boy, did I start my protocol. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And then I had to stop. I'm buffering. Babe, the internet's terrible. Is anybody else on?
Just me.
Do you think Walker left something plugged in?
I said it's probably me.
I know. I just didn't know if he left anything plugged in. Anyways, so after the second day of taking my supplements, woke up in the morning, I was taking all my supplements. That day, I was a little bit emotional, but not like, I just figured it was a stressful day, not a big deal. I went to bed that night. 2 o'clock in the morning, I wake up and my nose is literally pouring down my face. It's like water running all over me. So I sit up and I grab a tissue and I'm like, I can't breathe. My eyes are just pouring. So I finally ended up taking a Zyrtec because it was so bad I could barely breathe. So I took a Zyrtec. It took about 2 hours for it to kick in. So I finally, and I'm like, okay, I know I'm blurry. I don't know. I think my husband's on, he was online. I think he's getting offline. I don't know. We'll see. My internet's just really that bad today. So took about 2 hours for the Zyrtec to kick in. I finally went back to sleep. Woke up, I don't even know how many hours later, a little while later, and everything hurt. Absolutely everything. My back, my arms, my legs, my head, everything hurt. And I didn't make the connection. I was like, oh, it must be the Zyrtec. The Zyrtec isn't, it's making me feel really crappy. So I messaged Danny and I said, what are the chances that the protocol reactivated my allergies? And she was like, wait, what happened? And so I told her, and she goes, that's detox. She was like, you need to stop everything right now. She was like, you are really sensitive. Yeah, I'm really, really sensitive. So we stopped absolutely everything. And so today I took one pill of one of the bottles. That was it. And I'm going to do that for 5 days. And then I'm going to increase it. And then I'll add another one after another 5 days. And then I'll add another one after another 5 days. Like, it was so bad. But yeah, so I was listening to the mast cell activation. I've been listening to a bunch of that stuff. So I had to stop everything. And the other symptom that I was having, I couldn't stop crying. I mean, Richard would say something to me and I would immediately just start bawling. It was ridiculous. It was not sustainable. I was not functional. I couldn't deal with the kids. I couldn't deal with the animals. I've got all 3 kids here. And with Richard at work or whatever we're doing and all the animals and everything, it was, I couldn't function. It was so bad. So I have to back off, and it's going to take me a long time to get back to where I should be on the protocol. But I don't know if it was the Zyrtec that made me feel really bad or not, or if it was just the detox. The Zyrtec could have added to it. Like, it was all right in the front of my face. I think that was the Zyrtec. The pressure in my sinuses, it was miserable. It was so bad. But the kids would come down and say something to me, and I would just start screaming at them. I'm like, this is not okay. I am not safe. Like, I was not safe. So I spent hours in my bedroom with the door closed. I was like, this is not an option. It's not, because Richard has to go to work. I have to take care of these tiny people, and they are 10, 9, and 7. I can't just tell them, okay, do everything for yourself and for yourself. There's nobody else here. It was, oh my gosh, it was horrible. I had no diarrhea though. I had no digestion upset whatsoever. I started to watch the link that you sent me. I got about 20 minutes into it, and then I had to do something. I don't remember what it was, but I had to do something. Quick question. The Keto Mojo is not available where I am in New Zealand, but I found another brand. It only registers 1 ketones minimum. Is that okay, or should I look for one that goes lower? If you could find one that goes lower, it would be obviously more accurate, but it depends on what you're going for. If you're going for therapeutic levels of ketosis, then the one that registers 1 and above would be fine. But if you're going for just any form of ketosis, even if it's just mild, then you could very easily get into ketosis at 0.7, but you wouldn't know if you're only seeing the registry at 1 or above. So it depends on what you're going for. If you need the deep therapeutic ketosis, then that might be possible. But yes, Blaze, I got 20 minutes into it, and then it was over because I had to do something else. I don't remember what it was. I think maybe the tax guy called, and then I had to go record. And I've been recording all day because it's a day in the life video with the recipe. It's so much work. It's so much work. And lots of homeschool for the day. I recorded us doing homeschool. And then I also, does she talk about things? I was actually going to ask you that. Does she talk about things you can take to help? I'm afraid to take anything. I am literally afraid to take anything. Like, at this point in time, I'm terrified. It's scary. But, the children are inside. Shh. Yeah. So it was interesting. Talks about that also. They're peeking in at me. So back to my original topic of discussion, unless anyone else has any other questions. We were talking about a potential opportunity with the white-tailed deer and asking our families if they wanted to maybe participate in this venture. And a family member came back and said, I am just not comfortable with this because I could never help raise an animal. Hello. That I would know that was going to be hunted and killed. Now, this family member eats everything. Absolutely everything. Standard American diet, first of all. But all meat, all everything. And now my new rooster is trying. And that one, R2 crowed first, but the new one is in the cage. He sounds like he's gargling underwater. So it was very interesting. And Richard was like, I don't know how to respond to this. So I was like, I can respond to this. And I figured that if I'm getting this type of pushback from family members, then I figured you guys are too, or you may at some point in time. So we could talk about that and have a discussion about that whole topic, that whole thing. And so this family member is religious. And because of that, I quoted scripture. Because I have actually had a lot of Christians or many other religions, honestly, but I'm a Christian, so I know how to respond to the Christian, the Christian aspect of these questions. And they were like, well, it's murder. Actually, it's not. In the Bible, God distinguishes between murder and killing an animal. In Acts 10, 5 through 16. I'm not sure if I got that right. Hang on. Let me go look it up real quick. Where'd you go? I have it written down. Oh, there it is. Acts 10, 9 through 16. Peter has a vision where there's this sheet that has a whole bunch, like animals of every kind on top of it, and it comes down in his dream. And he hears God say, Peter, rise, kill, and eat. And Peter responds, no, I will not eat what is unclean. And in the version, I don't even know, I didn't write down which version it was. The response in verse 15 says, what God has made clean, do not call common. So he makes the distinction because one of the 10 commandments is thou shalt not murder, thou shalt not kill. And yet in Acts, we are ordered, we are commanded to rise up, kill, and eat of every animal that's on this big giant blanket, on this sheet. I would love to, I would love to see the original text because I wonder how much gets a little funny in the translations of, sheet, blanket, whatever. Anyways, so I told this family member that I'm sorry, but if you think that you are free of guilt from death because you purchase your meat from a grocery store or even a local butcher, you are sorely mistaken. Because no matter what we eat, any food that is eaten that grows and lives on this planet, something died. Whether it is a plant itself that dies, because plants too are living, or if it's the animal that dies, there's always going to be death involved. And the thing that